celebration of life. So let's talk about a little background. And death had a different meaning for native people of Central and Southern Mexico. Death was not only as an end, but as part of a continuum of existence. For the Aztecs, souls traveled for 4 years in their vision of the afterworld. People had to travel, the departed had to travel, the soul, during 4 years to the Mictlán after death. Souls needed a guide to face the challenges of the underworld, and during the day of death, souls returned to the world of the living for a brief visit. So they come and they visit Mictecacihuatl and Mictlantecutli, who are the goddess of death. Then we have, this is of course the way of looking at the existence from indigenous belief, the Aztecs, the Mayas, but also then you have the influence of the Spanish. The Spanish brought Catholicism in the 16th century to stamp out lingering indigenous values. They demolished religious temples and burned indigenous idols. Regardless of that destruction, indigenous people in Mexico, as across the Americas, resisted the Spanish efforts to eradicate their culture. Instead, they often blended their own religious and cultural practices with those imposed on them by the Spanish. But let's talk about the current day of the death celebration. So we celebrate that November 1st and November 2nd. And what happens is that we remember our beloved ones who passed away and express our love in different spiritual and artistic ways. November 1st, we remember children, and November 2nd, the adults. What we usually do is in creating altars, some create elaborate altars at home. I would say probably the majority of the Mexican households would have an altar at home besides the one they will build and celebrate at the cemeteries all over Mexico. Visiting cemeteries is also a very important family tradition where we clean and decorate graves with flowers, food, candles. We bring music. We hire either mariachis or musicians that will come and play while we celebrate, eat, and drink at the graves. So the Day of the Dead, for instance, a celebration is very typical in the state of Michoacán. Michoacán, it's an amazing experience. I would invite everybody to, if you are in Mexico during this time of the year, to visit Michoacán, because it's one of the greatest places to witness what the Day of the Dead celebration is. So you have the modern day altars, like the ones we put at home. And of course, we have the traditional bread, we call it pan de muerto, and that is accompanied by the chocolate beverage called champurrado or chocolate. And so this is going back to Michoacán. Some of the best places to witness this tradition, it's in Pátzcuaro and Janitzio Island of Michoacán, also Oaxaca, Mérida in Yucatan, near Cancun. Everybody's familiar with Cancun nowadays. So Mérida is 4 hours away from Cancun. So that's another nice spot. Mexico City, Puebla, of course, and Tlaxcala, great examples of the states that keep the tradition alive. And this Puebla, Tlaxcala, Mexico City, of course, is in central Mexico.
And Philadelphia.
And now Philadelphia, of course, yes. And so this is, the altar is dedicated to famous, wow. Oh, yes. So the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, or UNESCO, proclaimed Dia de los Muertos as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity in 2003. So this altar here is dedicated to famous people with ties to Philadelphia and Pennsylvania. We invite you to visit the altar and see, the people that we have. For instance, we have Benjamin Franklin, of course, who drafted the Declaration of Independence, one of the founding fathers of the United States. Of course, Billie Holiday, Kobe Bryant, David Rittenhouse, Grace Kelly, Henry John Hines, and of course Andy Warhol. So we wanted to honor them with all respect to them and their families and their traditions, and for making Philadelphia and Pennsylvania also a very famous place to visit. Dia de los Muertos teaches us several important lessons. It's a life celebration. It encourages us to celebrate life and cherish our memories. And death as part of life. The celebration helps normalize discussions about death, reminding us that it is a natural part of existence and not to be afraid of. Community and connection, for this allows us to foster a sense of belonging as families and communities come together to remember and celebrate. So this is in a nutshell a brief description of what the tradition is, and we invite you to visit the altar. I will be around here if you have questions. Later on, we have a full program. We will be showing Coco this evening, and so we are very excited to partner. Again, thank you very much for defending all visitor center for this opportunity. Thank you very much. Yes, that was the yes.
Bueno, pues ahí está mirando el altar del Día de los Muertos que ha puesto el Consulado de México en Filadelfia, en el Visitor Center, que se encuentra en la calle Market entre las 5 y las 6. Así que ahí está también la presencia mexicana en el Visitor Center. También hay una muestra de una galería de fotografías por un fotógrafo mexicano. Así es que si quiere venir a visitar este altar, pues es bienvenido. Está dedicado a algunos personajes de la historia de Filadelfia, como don Benjamin Franklin y otros tantas actividades. También está otro para Henry John Hines. Y bueno, pues ahí está esta magnífica altar. Ahí está Juan Carlos también del sur de Filadelfia, ya vino aquí a visitar. Y bueno, pues los invitamos para que se venga a este altar del Día de los Muertos en el centro de la ciudad de Filadelfia. También habrá una película. Y bueno, con esto nosotros nos despedimos. Gracias por acompañarnos en esta transmisión. Gracias.